had to work full-time to pay for my university education, so I started at Central Piedmont Community College because the cost was pretty reasonable. I got my AA degree, and then I was working at a hotel in South Park. That hotel no longer exists, but UNC Charlotte was a good school that was nearby that I was able to balance sort of work with education. But I still remember at that point, I really didn't know what I wanted to do other than I didn't want to be in the hotel business. And I took a course by a retired Citibank executive who had studied at Columbia University and went on to work for Citibank internationally for 30 years. And the stories he told in this class really motivated me. And I remember asking him, how do I create a career like that? And he said, get an MBA and learn a language. And that's really what inspired me to go on to the University of Virginia's program, as well study Japanese and begin my 35-year career working and living in Asia. The opportunity to live in that culture was just so impactful to me. I made the decision that I was going to absolutely go back to Japan. So I graduated and no one would give me a job. So I sold everything I had, 2 suitcases, and went to Japan on a tourist visa and hoped to get a job, and luckily through the alumni network of the University of Virginia met somebody at Coca-Cola and he said, well, I've just arrived. I don't speak Japanese and many members of my team don't speak English. So you come be my finance guy and then you can translate. And luckily neither side really knew how bad my Japanese was at that point, so I got away with it. But on the first day they sat me in finance next to the cutest girl I'd ever seen, and we've been married for 33 years.
I first met Scott 5 to 6 years ago. We were starting off our entrepreneurship speaker series. And so he came and spoke about corporate entrepreneurship efforts that he was leading at UPS at the time. And the sort of changes that he had to make from a cultural standpoint, from a structural standpoint, to then allow the corporation to deliver more customer value, to expand their customer base. And I think that when others see Scott, that leaves a positive impression, not only about Scott, but also about UNC Charlotte as well, and hopefully that will have a positive influence on our future alum as well.
Scott's made a tangible difference in the lives of our Niner students. First off, by providing a gift for the Jameel Niner Student Pantry. And so I detailed with him, as an advancement officer should, what his gift meant. And he was thrilled, and he said, I can always do more. Well, it wasn't long after we had gotten the information about the Gold Rush grants. A student doesn't have to go get a second job to make extra tips to pay for their education. And if they're that close to graduating, the Gold Rush grant can make a difference.
My wife and I decided that, we have been graced with so much in our lives and that we wanted to give back a bit. And that really was the reason why my wife and I decided to create the Gold Rush Grant Endowment.
I think Scott exemplifies the spirit of the Distinguished Alumnus Award in every way possible. And every place he's ever been, he's succeeded and gone to the highest level. And he's always interested in doing what he can to connect with UNC Charlotte alumni.
He has very much honored UNC Charlotte in the work that he's done in the years since he's left the university. And so it's very nice to be able to honor him in return with this Distinguished Alumni Award.
I'm humbled. I have to say I don't do well with recognition. I much far prefer giving recognition to other people than receiving it on my own. I would not have been able to achieve what I've achieved without the support of my wife and my daughter. So in some ways I feel like I share it with them. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.